but I don't believe that hell exists. So if I believe there is a spirit realm that we all go to after we die that some people might call heaven, and I do not believe that hell exists, where else do you want Hitler to go? Where else do you want him to go after?
We got to make room for Hitler, okay? It's also quite a take.
It's really not that hard.
For everyone who might be new to the show and isn't completely caught up in Serf lore, the last time I was in Newsweek was for this story. Work sets you free. Trump, senior advisor, accused of using Nazi propaganda slogan. Multiple people on social media have accused an aide to President Donald Trump of evoking a propaganda slogan used by the Nazi regime after he said work sets you free in a video. Corey Lewandowski, who served as Trump's 2016 campaign manager and is currently a senior advisor to the president's 2020 campaign, made the comment in a video posted to his Cameo account on Thursday. Several current and former Trump associates have joined Cameo, a social media platform that allows anyone to purchase either a public or privatized personal message from a famous personality. In the video, Lewandowski states that the message is for the Alpha Freedom Friends. He says, quote, "This is Corey Lewandowski. You know me as President Trump's 2016 campaign manager and current 2020 senior advisor. Look, I want to say freedom only for the members of the government or only for the members of the party is no freedom at all. We need to end the China virus lockdown and only work sets you free. Let's get everybody back to work. Let's get our economy growing again. Let's send Donald Trump and Mike Pence back to the White House for 4 more years." The phrase "work sets you free" translates from German Albert macht frei. My apologies, it's probably Albert macht frei. No, Albert macht frei. I'll do it softly. And are known for appearing on the entrance gates to Auschwitz and other Nazi concentration camps. Wonket, an online magazine, reported that The Serfs, a YouTube channel where 2 indentured plebs bring you their comedic spin on the weekly news, purchased a video message for $70. Wonket, you think you're breaking the story? You don't know me. You don't know shit. The fuck is this website? Oh, you're just going to Cameo? That's not breaking the story. They posted an edited version of the video on Twitter, which has now been viewed more than 430,000 times.
Hey, this message for the Alpha Freedom Friends. This is Corey Lewandowski. You know me as President Trump's 2016 campaign manager and his current 2020 senior advisor. Look, I want to say freedom only for the members of the government or only for the members of the party is no freedom at all. We need to end the China virus lockdown, and only work sets you free. So let's get everyone back to work. Let's get our economy growing again. And let's send Donald Trump and Mike Pence back to the White House for 4 more years.
I don't know if we own the domain to this anymore. Let's see. Alpha Freedom Friends. It used to go to Planned Parenthood. Because this was a couple years ago. Yeah, it's back for sale. Someone else can grab it at Namecheap. Get yourself the domain, Alpha Freedom Friends. But the Alpha Freedom Friends appears to be a non-existent organization. If someone were to search for AlphaFreedomFriends.com, they would be redirected to a donation page for Planned Parenthood. It is unclear if the Serfs sent Lewandowski a specific message to record, or if he wrote it himself. It's pretty funny that about 20 plus blue checkmark journalists all retweeted the Corey Lewandowski story, and the only person to check out the website provided was Cody Johnson. That one is true. There was a lot of people, including Larry Charles, who I also have respect for. It is no accident that in the message, Corey Lewandowski quotes the words above the gates to Auschwitz. If you are a Jew for Trump, you should be horrified. If you're an American who knows what happened in World War II, you should be horrified. If you're a human, you should be horrified. This is a blatantly purposeful anti-Semitism. You are being played. Corey Lewandowski certainly was. But yeah, there was a lot of blue check marks who kind of ran with the story. And again, the only person who kind of did a journalism when it comes to this was Cody Shoddy. Cody Shoddy at first was like, holy shit, did Corey Lewandowski just say like the phrase that's on the gates of Auschwitz? And then the second tweet was like, oh, just went to the website. It's for Planned Parenthood. This is definitely like a troll. So some of my finest work. I still haven't printed and framed this, but this was my first appearance in Newsweek. But today, we have the official second appearance of the Serfs in Newsweek. I will bring you more. Now, I've been bringing you a lot of very important stories here on the Serfs. I've been reporting on a number of issues that are incredibly, I say, vital to the human condition. Some of them usually pertain to unionization efforts. Other ones pertain to, of course, land back and indigenous sovereignty and rights. And I have been, I think, at the forefront of the Karlyn Borysenko complete and utter meltdown. To give you all a quick Cole's notes to the phenomenon that is occurring in real time before our very eyes, Karlyn Borysenko is, of course, a PragerU star of the Why I Left the Left ilk. So basically, she was part of a knitting club, and she was not allowed to say things that got her in trouble in the knitting club. We don't know what they were. She was getting scolded by the woke knitters and was quite upset by that, and then went to a Trump rally where she found out that everyone at Trump rallies is super nice and super welcoming, and all of them are totally cool if she wants to scream the N-word at the top of her lungs. So that was all like, oh, sweet, these are the people, my people. And then she became a Why I Left the Lefter. And then PragerU put her in the spotlight, and then, of course, her channel blew up. She's at over 100,000 subs, and is more recently famous for her rather spicy takes on the Holocaust. She made some tweets a couple days ago in which she stated out loud that she believes that the people who suffered in the Holocaust did so of their own choice. This is a little bit deeper than simply saying that they said, please let us suffer. It's kind of related to her spiritual beliefs in that she feels that there are two different planes. There's the human plane and the spiritual plane. In the spiritual plane, all of us are just souls in waiting, and then we choose the lives we have. So in that same theory, I was a spirit uwu who was like, I should become Lance. And then I went into the real plane, and then I chose to have this life. And that's how everything is decided. And she ends that tweet, which, of course, again, says that the people in the Holocaust chose to be in the Holocaust, with Hitler is in heaven. Now, those two statements, probably of a prominent public figure, I still say, the worst statements of 2021. And now it's making headlines. Newsweek reports, PragerU presenter Karlyn Borysenko says Jewish people choose to die in the Holocaust. A presenter at the academic media company PragerU has been criticized for stating that her spiritual beliefs means she thinks Jewish people chose to be killed in the Holocaust and that Adolf Hitler went to heaven. In a series of tweets over the past few days, Karlyn Borysenko has been outlining her beliefs that people make decisions about their lives before they choose to be born, including when they die. While answering a number of questions on the subject, Borysenko said that this includes children who choose to be aborted, as they could choose to be born into human form if they wanted. So, yeah, I forgot about that part. Yeah, and miscarriages as well. People, well, sorry, not people. The spirit souls, the super spirits, choose if they want to be aborted to have that experience, and also choose if they want to be miscarried. So that one is a rather short experience in the human plane, and then they return to the astral plane. Borysenko went on to suggest that even those who were killed in the Holocaust choose to do so spiritually for the experience. It's like a roller coaster ride. Everybody who died in the Holocaust chose to die in the Holocaust before they were ever born because they collectively wanted to understand the experience of ultimate oppression. That's why Hitler went to heaven. Progressive think tank the Gravel Institute and left-wing media company The Serfs were amongst those who criticized Borysenko for claiming that Jewish people subconsciously decided to be killed in the atrocity. Ian Miles Chong, a prominent pro-Donald Trump conservative pundit and I think pedophile apologist, also tweeted, Karlyn Borysenko went from abortion is a choice babies choose all the way down to Hitler did nothing wrong. I never want, fuck! Why did you sully this whole article? Why did you put Ian Miles Chong in there? This whole thing is ruined. Taking all the fun out of this. I was having a great time up until this very moment when I had to be reminded that he exists. Watch one of Karlyn Borysenko's YouTube videos. She says dumber things live than she does on Twitter, if you can't believe it, blah, blah, blah. I want to say, what time is this? Okay, December 5th, 2021 at 1:20, I believe I was one of the first people to identify that this tweeter here, or at least one of the larger accounts to identify that this tweeter was in fact Karlyn Borysenko. And then pointed out to everyone that it's the same person from the PragerU video, and that they're live streaming right now, trying to tweet through this. And then I will have you know, almost 5 hours later, the Gravel Institute does the exact same thing. I say j'accuse, Gravel. You could have hit the retweet button, but instead you did me dirty. Instead, you clearly ripped the exact frame. Yes. The exact frame that I chose to use in the screenshot that I did myself. See, I went to the original PragerU video, and then I did a screen capture, and this is the exact frame. So, j'accuse Gravel. Back to our regularly scheduled program. So there's me tweet. Looks like PragerU's latest Why I Left the Left star Karlyn Borysenko got cancelled by the woke right for her Hitler went to heaven take. Oh, they even included my video. That's pretty cool. I guess this is going to... You know what's neat? Is she's blocked me, and I've been blocked for a while on Twitter because I didn't agree with her really outlandish remarks on worker cooperatives that she clearly doesn't understand at all. And so I've never had a chance to actually interact with her back and forth, but she's live right now. And she's live right now, again, streaming through this, tweeting through this, posting through this, and talking about how she's in Newsweek right now. So I'm interested to see what she has to say about this. In a number of follow-up explanations, Borysenko denied that her comments were anti-Semitic, but she doesn't believe Hitler went to hell because it doesn't exist, just like the Jewish faith teaches. Heaven is real. It's the spirit realm we all go to after we die. Hell is not real. It's an invention of religion to control people. Hitler was an evil person on a human level. He didn't go to hell. Hell is not real. Yeah, so the point is that everyone goes back to the spirit realm. Doesn't matter who they are, and all the spirits then choose to live these lives. In another response to her criticism she received online, she added, "Everyone chooses when they die. Everyone means everyone. Hitler went to heaven because hell is not real. Not walking back shit for you outraged junkies. I do not care how much it offends your fragile sensibilities. Keep screaming, wear yourselves out." In 2020, Borysenko attracted media attention by declaring that she would be leaving the Democratic Party to become a Republican after attending a Trump rally. In February this year, she shared images taken from a Coca-Cola diversity workshop while she encouraged employees to try and be less white. PragerU and Karlyn Borysenko have both been contacted for comment. Well, let's hear the official comment, because I'm quite curious where she stands on all this.
PragerU presenter Karlyn Borysenko says Jewish like position with PragerU or anything, which I'm sure they're very thankful of right this second. But I didn't say that Jewish people choose to die in the Holocaust. I said that every single person that has ever been born or will ever be born chooses when they die before they're born. Choosing.
Okay, I'm gonna have to fact check this. Let's pull up the tweet itself. Here we are. And fact checking. Everyone who died in the Holocaust choose. You use the word choose. You literally use that term. I mean, you can't even get away with the semantic argument here. You couldn't even be like, well, technically I said decide instead of choose. So it's not the same. No, you actually literally use that word. So yeah, there's that.
When you die before you're born means you're not a Jewish person yet. I do not believe that we ascribe to any specific belief system when we are in the spirit realm before we are born. I don't believe that's true. And again, guys, we're going to be...
You're not a Jewish person yet, and you don't subscribe to any belief system. But then how did you choose to have that life in which you will have ultimate suffering? Because your argument is still that people chose to be in the Holocaust so that they could experience the ultimate form of suffering and oppression. But if you don't even know what those things are when you're in the spirit realm, like how is it randomized? Because that seems even worse. Like you don't get a choice if you are going to either be, Elon Musk or Adolf Hitler. Like you just get plugged in to the Matrix and then you're pretty much alive without any choice in the matter.
To be very clear, in this stream, we are going to be bouncing back and forth between human experience and spiritual experience. Spiritual experience happens before and after we're born. Human experience happens when we are on Earth. It is literally impossible for me to have said that Jewish people chose to die in the Holocaust because I was talking about decisions that are made in the spirit realm before people are born. Therefore, if they are not born yet, they are not
Maybe the whole thing was viral marketing for the new Matrix movie. Hey, if so, I'm just finally pleased and proud to be a part of the experience. Okay, big fan. To both the sisters, y'all do great work.
Yet, they're also not making that choice on a conscious human level. This is a spiritual discussion. It's a philosophy discussion. So already, the headline is absolute trash. Let's keep going. A presenter at academic media company PragerU has been criticized for stating that her spiritual beliefs mean she thinks Jewish people choose to be killed in the Holocaust and that Adolf Hitler went to heaven. Well, again, we've already established that I do not believe that Jewish people specifically have those beliefs because I believe that they made those decisions before they were born, which means they weren't Jewish yet.
But they knew what Jewish was.
Is this too complicated for people? I understand that people who like go to church every Sunday and maybe like, you know.
Is this too complicated? What are you not getting? You idiots? What's wrong with all of you stupids? All of you dum-dums? Don't you see it's very clear. It's in Revelations, people.
Whatever, they maybe haven't been exposed to it, but is this really too complicated to understand that if you haven't been born yet, you're not Jewish yet? Am I asking too much?
No, it's just my follow-up would be then how do you decide, or do you know, so you do not know what being Jewish is, and yet you chose to be Jewish, and you specifically chose to be born in a time in which you're going to be persecuted for being Jewish, and then perhaps even tortured in some of the most horrifying ways possible. In the history of humanity, you have specifically chosen that to be your experience, but you simultaneously know nothing about any of it because you're not born yet. Like, that's the thing. I mean, maybe it is too complicated.
People are going to heaven. I don't believe hell exists. So I don't even call the spiritual realm heaven. If I'm saying heaven, I'm using it interchangeably with like where all of us go after we die, which is the spirit realm. But I don't believe that hell exists. So if I believe there is a spirit realm that we all go to after we die that some people might call heaven, and I do not believe that hell exists, where else do you want Hitler to go? Where else do you want him to go after?
We got to make room for Hitler, okay? It's also quite a take.
It's really not that hard. In a series of tweets over the past few days, Karlyn Borysenko has been outlining her beliefs that people make decisions about their lives before they choose to be born, including when they die. Correct.
I mean, I gotta give it to Newsweek. This is not a hit piece. This is probably one of the nicer articles you could think of when it comes to talking about something that is just so evidently yikesy, you know? No, see, you choose to die as a Jew in the Holocaust before birth, but you're not Jewish. There. So you're not a Jew making a decision, but you don't choose to be a Jew. But she said that they don't know what like even being a Jewish person is. There's a debate about how specific your spirit, soul, higher self plans out the life it'll live, but I'm pretty sure everyone of that belief would agree that you choose what religion you're going to be impacted or born into again, etc. I mean, by debate, you mean we're talking about things in which no human being can know the answer to. Like, I don't think it's something you can really debate about. It's like debating. Well, I guess people do debate about things that aren't real all the time, like who would win in a fight, King Kong or Godzilla. It's like that. It's the same kind of conversation. Who would win in a fight between King Kong and Godzilla? It's an unknowable answer. I mean, I know there's a handful of films and people could. I already hear a fucking movie theory thing going on. Okay, and now we're going to measure how large Godzilla actually is. If we look at the size of the skyscraper, this was actually taken in 1965. The Windows plane will show us that this is like 5.6 meters between each other. So in fact, he's actually this size. Now King Kong, if we measure him, like fine, but like ultimately, I don't know if it's something that's really up for debate. Godzilla, easy.
As a part of a larger discussion in which I was trolling conservative Christians on abortion. I'm sorry, I have no problem with Christianity, as you guys know. I just have a problem with fundamentalists. And I like to piss them off. It's fun. I'm sure I will get karmic retribution for it. I'm sure I will. But it's fun, and it makes me feel good. And fundamentally, I believe that things that make us feel good are things that we should run toward.
The thing that makes this particularly wild, just outside of, well, everything about it, is that, like, continuously, rather than simply do what normal people would do, which is just come out in front of it and be like, I apologize, I was trying to troll some Christians and I was being inflammatory and clearly my words were deeply and highly offensive and I understand why, and I'm now going to go to the Holocaust Museum with Marjorie Taylor Greene and learn about why the Holocaust was bad and why saying things of this nature can be taken to be deeply offensive. That's it. But instead it's like now it's a crusade where she is being canceled by the woke right, by the woke left, by Newsweek, which I don't know what she's going to assign them as.
Because when we're having a moral discussion, that fundamentally is a philosophical discussion.
Well,
no, I do not believe that we have a moral obligation to ban abortion.
Wait,
because I believe that when babies die before they are born, the baby spirit goes back to the spirit realm And it could absolutely be choose to be born again if it so chose. I don't believe spiritual beings ever really die. We just change form. And I do believe, and there are many people who have talked about different types of experiences in this regard, that if a baby spirit dies before it's born, they tend to come back later. I've
How
had
would you know
conversations
that?
with many mothers in particular who have had miscarriages, tragic miscarriages, where they believe that it wasn't the baby's time to be born yet for some reason that we may never know. But they absolutely believe that that baby came back in a future.
See, this is where it crosses the line for me between, like, I have a really, really deep problem with people who do spirit talking and spirit calling or things like that, where they're like, I contact the dead, I'm a medium, I can contact your dead relatives, I'm going to talk to your like dead father and I'm going to get answers for you and all that kind of shit. Because like I think it is like scam artistry at some of the most grotesque levels. And if you're like, everyone who copes in different ways, and obviously it's going to be an unbelievably difficult thing for a family that is going through a miscarriage or losing a child of any kind, and then if you are
clean up your room,
telling them things which you don't know if they could potentially ever be true, which is that it wasn't your child's time, don't worry, this was a choice made consciously by the fetus in the spirit realm to have that experience, and they've had the experience, and that's great, and now they're going to have another experience where they'll come back later as a fully developed human. Like that, it's just utterly bizarre, you know? Mr. Slothman 03, thank you.
Never once said that. And that's because as human beings, we have free will. I do not believe that everything that we decide before we're born is set in stone. In human beings, when we're human beings, we have free will. We can make other choices. So I would appreciate if you stopped saying that I believe in that, because I've seen you say it many, 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 many times, and I do not. I've never said that. You said that. We're going to talk more about the experience bit after I get through this article, because I have a lot to say on that. Everyone who died in the Holocaust chose to die in the Holocaust before they were ever born. This is the part of the tweet that people don't really like to acknowledge. Before they were born. If it was before they're born, they're not Jewish yet. Sorry. Because they collectively wanted to understand the experience of ultimate oppression. That's why Hitler went to heaven. Progressive think...
No, but it's the idea that people would choose to go through something that atrocious for learning experience, and it kind of like... It belittles the suffering that actually occurred if it's like, well, they were actually choosing before they were born in the spiritual realm to have that experience, even though, yes, technically they weren't Jewish because they weren't human at that time, but they were aware of what it was to be Jewish, and they chose to become Jewish at this moment in history so that they can suffer.
Take the Gravel Institute. Oh, I've got some words for the Gravel Institute. The Gravel Institute cares so much about anti-Semitism and racism that they refuse to call out actual anti-Semites and actual racists. I have done more to call out actual anti-Semitism than the Gravel Institute. Nomad88 says, do you believe in euthanasia? I believe in...
We're being teased so much, like minutes away.
I believe in a person's right to choose to end their own life. I do not believe it is my place or anyone else's place to choose to end someone else's life. But do I believe in...
Insomnia Noir, thank you.
I love this channel. It keeps me sane in the shitstorm of leftist media.
That's good to know, because this has got to be one of the weirder ones. But I pride myself on that, you know? You never know what you're going to get. It's always a wonderful Technicolor Dreamcoat Etch-a-Sketch of dumpster fire.
Like right to die legislation, yes. I believe that if a person has a terminal illness and they make the choice to end their own life rather than live out their life in pain and suffering, I believe that that is their choice. I do not believe it is my right or anyone else's right to choose to end someone's life, because that would be interfering in their journey. Now, that's not to say that people don't choose to end other people's lives. We're going to talk about the Holocaust. We are. That's not to say it doesn't happen. But I don't believe that it's my place to force that decision on anyone else. Progressive think tank, the Gravel Institute, which never calls out actual racism and actual anti-Semitism, and left-wing media company, the Serfs, Oh, God. Where are those who criticize Borysenko for claiming that Jewish people subconsciously decided to be killed?
That's it. That's it. Just, oh God. I don't think you know who we are. I'll be honest. Maybe my delusions of grandeur.
Killed in their atrocity. So again, Newsweek. If a person is not born yet, a person is not Jewish. Roberto, so abortion. If a person is not born yet, same thing. If a person is not born yet, if a person is not born yet, if a person is not born yet, I'll say the same thing. If the person is not born yet. Also, I'm talking about my belief.
Totally. But again, I got to go back to this. We don't know, and we'll never truly know. I mean, it's one of those unknowable questions. What exactly happens after or before you die? And that's one of the great wonders and mysteries of the universe, of humanity, of the human experience. And it's perfectly acceptable for people to explore that, to discuss it, and to try to reach different conclusions based on their own belief system, set of beliefs, and even debate these kind of issues. Sure, fine, healthy, normal. We do know what happened in the Holocaust, and we do know how horrifying it was. So it's kind of, again, coming back to this problem where this individual, rather than acknowledge that she said some things that are pretty grotesque and inflammatory, and simply dial them back or apologize for them, is at this point, I don't even know, sextupling down, would that be the proper term? And continuously digging deeper and deeper into this idea that, like, you don't understand, this is not an issue of anti-Semitism. This is not an issue of, my misunderstanding of history or me trying to downplay the Holocaust. This is about spiritual beliefs, and always has been about spiritual beliefs. And unless you're going to have a conversation about spirituality on my level, then there's nothing more we can really do.
Contrary to popular belief, I've never had an abortion. Contrary to popular belief, I never would have an abortion. I don't believe in legislating my worldview on to other people. I don't believe that anyone should be legislating their religious beliefs on to other people. It's really that simple.
I agree.
Luis says, you are awesome. Thank you, Luis. I appreciate all of your work. I hope that I can join you and all the porcupines in New Hampshire. Hey, man, make sure you come up for Pork Fest. Oh my God, they fucking quoted Ian Miles Chong. Holy shit.
Yeah, that fair dues. Fair dues. What are you doing? What are you doing, Newsweek? That's just disgusting. It sullies this whole article.
Is this what journalism looks like now? Yes. Caleb said, Hunter Avalone tried to use me as well. Like Hunter, I used to like Hunter, and I actually do like Hunter's wife. I think Hunter's wife is very, very sweet.
Tried to use you. What are you talking about? That debate, if you want to call it that, which was really just letting you speak for about 25 minutes and then letting Hunter ask a few questions, was outrageously good faith on his part. And I say that as someone who was like looking for blood in that conversation. Like the patience he had to sit through and kind of walk you through why what you're doing is wrong, and just have you, again, with this kind of like smug air of complete confidence that, hey, you just don't understand. This has nothing to do with the Holocaust, in essence. This is 100% to do with like my understanding of the spiritual realm.
Hunter tried to use me yesterday, and I was just like, not.
Is she currently employed by PragerU? No, she's just been in one of the PragerU videos. She's currently a kind of like right-wing commentator slash. I mean, she tries to approach things from a centrist position, she says, but she's just in the ecosystem now. Like, you'll see her pop up in other shows. Like the last time I think we were talking about her before this whole fiasco was when she was on a panel with Blair White, John Doyle. I forget who that woman was, the Satanist, the one who was just straight up like, everything is the devil, you're the devil, I'm the devil, yeah, my genitals are the devil. It was a weird panel.
Bullshit at all. And he said basically that you can't have my opinion because my views might be used to justify a hypothetical disaster. Let's be very clear, guys. My views have never resulted in a mass atrocity in the entire history of humanity. If anyone
that defense, I forgot about that. The things I've said have never resulted in anything bad, so they're not bad, by definition. Like, does that rule apply to everything? Like, if you call someone a mean thing, and you're like, whoa, that doesn't matter. That's never actually been responsible for genocide before by saying that, so I'm actually technically allowed to use that term. I'm going to say it again, right? So,
Ewan Palmer, Ewan, in the U.S., obviously, in South Sea of Sutherland, and became a copywriter. When you went to journalism
Oh, now she's now she's doing the at home.
school or whatever school you went to, did you dream of one day reporting on tweets? Was that the pinnacle of journalism that you were trying to achieve?
It's because you're a public figure, and this is the worst tweet of 2021. Come on.
a worse existence than reporting on effing tweets. Contacted me for comment 4 minutes before he published his hit piece.
Oh, some lore. Actually, I'd like to know this.
Now let's take a look. I'm gonna bring up a screenshot. He contacted me at 8:30 this morning. 8:21 this morning. When was this article published? What time was this article published? 8:25. Ewan, you fucking son of a bitch. He contacted me for...
If that is true, that is definitely sus. Oh, that is true. Holy shit. Yeah, that's bad. Ewan. Good morning, Karlyn. My name is Ewan, and I'm a reporter for Newsweek. How are you? I've seen you've been tweeting about it a lot recently, but was wondering if you would like to offer a statement or comment regarding the criticism you received for suggesting Jewish people chose to die in the Holocaust.
He said this at 8:21 a.m. He published this on.
Yeah, that is ridiculous.
So no,
I know it's gonna probably get me in trouble to say this, but that's a win. That's a win for Karlyn.
Everyone wants to call me an anti-Semite. Ewan, of course, has been up and down my Twitter, writing his little hit piece. But you know what Ewan did not bother to report on? Do you know what he didn't even bother to report on? Let's look at my Twitter real quick. If you're going to my Twitter.
I know. I don't know why she's saying Ewan. I don't know. Yeah, it does sound like Star Wars.
All of the work I've done in this area, you should go back and watch yesterday's morning stream where I walk through this article again. Or you can watch any of the other streams that I've done on this article and these people. Because I, unlike Ewan, hack journalist from Newsweek.
This is your own article. You're referencing your own Substack. This is just self-promotion. And now I'll show you a real journalist. Here's a real source. Me.
Thing like the Holocaust. Why would they make that choice on a spiritual perspective? It seems like it's an impossible choice to make. And the answer I got, and this honestly felt like one of those moments where I was actually channeling spirit.
If you only asked her 4 minutes, that is a bit unfair. She may be a horrible person, but she needs time to respond. I completely agree. Like I said, I think that's a rare win for Karlyn in that case. If it looks like she has the timestamp. He messaged her at 8:21 and then published the story at 8:25. I mean, it almost like the reason I agree that that's really greasy is it almost seems as if you did it just to be able to have proof that you in fact did reach out to her for a comment. But who the fuck can comment in 3 minutes before a story's published? By the way, the story has to go through an editor too. So the story was already good to go. It was about to run. At which point, I don't know if that was just like, oh, by the way, you say at the end that you reached out for comment. Did you? It's like, yeah, of course I did. In a totally unrelated matter, I'm now going to go to the bathroom for 2 minutes.
And again, I said this at the top of the stream, but just for anyone who may have tuned in after that, one of the things that I find offensive about this entire scenario is that they are trying to cancel someone for a spiritual belief. For a spiritual belief.
No. I think I'm going to end there, but like, yes, that's not at all the case. You can have all the spiritual beliefs you want. Again, this is the problem with, people who just endlessly double down without taking any kind of criticism or listening to any kind of outside information. Is very, very simply like, no one is saying that you can't believe this concept that there is a spiritual realm and that there's the human realm or the physical realm and that the souls in the spiritual realm choose to have the lives they lead and then they go into. You can believe all of that. It's just the way you are using it to emphatically state that people who suffered and died in the Holocaust chose their fate. And again, even if you do this defense of like in the spiritual realm, okay, not in the human, it's not like once they were humans they had any knowledge of that previous life, even though I do. But like it's basically just that they chose to do that in their like character select screen that everyone gets to do, and they chose Holocaust, and that's it. And also adding Hitler's in heaven, like you've already come out and tried to backpedal in regards to the whole thing was kind of you just trying to troll conservatives. So maybe you were trying to be a little bit edgy in your trolling, but then you're backing it up with your spiritual beliefs. You can't, like, spiritual beliefs are not a defense for being shitty or being a shitty person. You know, like, and I know they've been used frequently for that, but like, it should never be a fallback. Like, you can just straight up be called shitty and having a shitty take. And you don't have to be like, oh, well, no, it's not me, you see. I happen to be an Orthodox Christian, so that's why I said the terrible things I did. It's not my own beliefs. I mean, in this case, you are both espousing these beliefs, and you're like doubling down on them, saying like, yeah, this is the way I think. This is my worldview. You know, this is honestly one of the shittier takes of the entire thing. Good to be back in Newsweek. And in terms of Ewan, I guess shame on you, Ewan, for publishing the story and only giving Karlyn 3 to 4 minutes to reply, and then using that as a way to be able to say at the very end, you've been contacted for comment. Well, okay, maybe it's not as bad, because contacted for comment isn't the same as we reached out but have received no comment or something. That's like we're now reaching out. There's going to be a follow-up to the story. Well, there may have been. I don't think she's going to be replying now. Woo, fun times. You misspelled her name. Oh no. Am I going to be canceled? Well, no. See, I didn't misspell her name. What I did is when I was a spirit, I chose to live the life of Lance, who at one point in history would misspell her name. So technically, I didn't do it right now as a mistake. I did it a really long time ago. A really, really long time ago. And that's just the way it works out. Thanks for the spirit realm shit.
This will come down to who can deliver the lower propensity and mid propensity voters.
To our gods, Xander Corvus and Peyton L. Just, we will build a ladder to heaven to deliver you the daily news. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we are your most humble of clownish jesters. To our lords, Trevor R. and Alexander Thaler, you have our undying fealty. To our knights of the round table, Nate, that one guy, Hagbird Celine, Matthew Scarborough, Stellar Vision, Ariana McCarthy, Daniel Sutton, Ants Are Still Running the World, Coulter Smith, Tom Groh, Val 9000, Jenna Tal, Quiet 185, Anna Loves Riley, Riley and Anna, Omni, Poodlehawk, The Tim Caucus, Multimondi, Trevor Janis, Lemmy 101, Anthropophojack, Saren 42, Chronic to Hemphog, Catherine, Radical Maniac, Ramon Acosta, Incosin, Violent Orchard, Sophie Baby, Political Puppy, Andreas Chiringuito, Zach Christensen, Josh Mickelson, Todd Buckingham, and Todd Lajeunesse. We shall meet you in the tavern, and we raise a drink, and we salute you.